GameFront's Game of the Year Awards 2011. It's that time again to honor the cream of the crop in the world of video games. The following nominees represent the GameFront staff's top 5 picks of the best games in a specific category. Nominees are chosen by a combination of GameFront review scores, innovation, and overall how much fun they were to play. To take part in our Reader's Choice Awards, make sure to follow the link in the description to our Facebook page and answer the polls set up for you. Feel free to add your own choices to the poll as well if your favorite game is unlisted. After all is said and done, we'll pick one lucky voter to win any $60 game of their choosing. Best Action Adventure Game: Batman Arkham City. Batman Arkham City unleashes the Cape Crusader into Gotham's neon noir. Armed with an aerodynamic cape and his trusty grapple gun, the taciturn hero can get around in style. He needs to, thanks to the rogues gallery of classic villains running amok in the game's titular urban prison. Pursued by the forces of Two-Face, Penguin, Mr. Freeze, and Mark Hamill's madcap Joker, Batman deploys an arsenal of gadgets, investigative techniques, and bone-snapping punches to eventually emerge the victor. The British developers at Rocksteady continue to redefine how an action game can and should play. Those left wanting more by the game's brief single-player story conclusion should take solace in the wealth of collectibles and score challenges, which promise hours of extra amusement. Dead Space 2. Engineer Isaac Clarke made out of the disaster at ages 7 in one piece back in Dead Space, but like any good horror franchise, the real scares were just beginning. In Dead Space 2, Isaac has to survive the giant space station known as the Sprawl, a place filled with people to get turned into the series' disturbing necromorph monsters. Dead Space 2 maintains the third-person shooter controls and perspective of Dead Space, while adding to Isaac's stash of weapons and the zero-G sections of the game that broke up the pacing of the original. There's a lot of action, a lot of tension, and a lot of scares in Dead Space 2. There's also an underrated competitive multiplayer mode that pits one team as humans and another as the game's necromorph monsters, mixing up the standard deathmatch formula for something more singular. LA Noire. Rather than perfecting explosion physics or slow-motion dismemberment, Australia's Team Bondi poured their resources into groundbreaking facial motion capture technology. The result was a game filled with characters that actually resembled living, breathing people. In LA Noire, you play newly minted LAPD detective Cole Phelps, a likable lug with a terrible secret. Paired up with a variety of colorful partners, Phelps descends into the seamy underbelly of late 40s LA, tracking down car thieves and murderers, and eventually uncovering a conspiracy that goes right to the top. When the bullets are flying, it may not be able to compete with other, more gameplay-focused titles, but in its ability to tell a stylish, affecting story, LA Noire is totally unrivaled.
It's been a long time. How have you been?
Portal 2. A game brimming with some incredibly smart humor, Portal 2 took what Valve Software started with a little first-person puzzle game called Portal and turned it into a full retail release, with all the bells and whistles that went along with it. A full single-player story, lots more humor, and tons of the series' signature puzzles, solved by placing portals around rooms in order to navigate obstacles, made Portal 2 a great game. But it was its co-op features, allowing two players to join together to solve some intricate and brilliant puzzles as a pair of Aperture Science robots, that pushed it to be one of the best of the year. Portal 2 has a lot to offer anyone, and Valve is continuing to roll out new features like challenge mode levels and a Portal 2 chest chamber creation kit that will make it easy for anyone to design new levels. The game might have come out at the beginning of the year, but Portal 2's brilliance makes us want to venture through the Enrichment Center again and again. Uncharted 3. Drake's Deception. That Nathan Drake's third treasure hunting outing would be a tremendous hit for the PlayStation 3 was a foregone conclusion. What was not a given is the way in which Uncharted 3 would consistently upend your expectations. Almost everything about it was a drastic step forward from previous Uncharted games. Combat was simply better, set pieces ranging from an abandoned Crusader castle to a sinking cruise ship were mind-blowing. Levels were varied and challenging, and nearly every scene gave players something gorgeous to view. Thanks to its many strengths and to the return of its excellent voice cast and dialogue, Drake's Deception is still one of 2011's best games. Those are our nominees. Now get over to our Facebook page and cast your vote for a chance to win a free game in our Reader's Choice Awards.